Hey, welcome to X3, the show that has one topic and three pundits, myself included. I'm here with Joe Engo and Andrew Eisner to discuss, well, seems so that Apple's in the news again with stuff about the iPhone 4S specifically, that the Korean phone buyers are passing on it. As far as they're concerned, it's no good.
Well, Siri doesn't work in Korean, so that's one of the major features right there.
That's only one small thing, I think, that... I mean, look, the iPhone
LTE
4S doesn't have 4G LTE, and
the Koreans want the latest and greatest,
and it's still got a 3.5-inch screen, and so they're looking at all the other phones that are alternative. Of course, maybe the fact that Samsung is a Korean company might have something to do with it,
think?
but still, there are some very cool and new Android phones now, like the Resound, that have these gorgeous high-resolution LCD displays that have higher pixel density than the Retina display, and they're really nice looking and dual core, and so I think there are. I mean, the Koreans might be onto something. We tend to get a little bit jaded here. I mean,
we're Apple-centric.
emotional.
Well, we have
attachments to.
We have, like in this small panel, 1/3 of us will buy anything Apple produces, probably until they start making crap.
Yeah.
Which will be about 5 years by my predictions.
Well, it could be sooner. But there's been a lot of Apple iPhone news. There's this tethering story that came out. First, it was a product that was going to allow you to tether your iPhone 4S, or just all the iPhones, I guess.
Any iPhone,
and then it came out, and then Apple approved it. And then it was pulled, and it was brought back, and they said it was okay. And now it's gone again.
Now it's totally gone at this point. Apple said it's gone. It's been removed from the App Store.
What was this about?
Well, basically it's about data bandwidth. I mean, that's like drugs, I mean, to people. As soon as they say, hey, free data, I mean, on the tethering is a wonderful thing. I've used it. You can do it on Android. I think PDA Net works pretty well for free. The carriers hate it, of course, even though, I mean, you're paying for data, so what's the difference whether you get it off your laptop or get it, on your phone?
Well, they're just worried about people who have the unlimited packages. They're the ones that are going to be using a ridiculous amount of bandwidth.
Yeah, and so what they did on the unlimited, you can use the personal hotspot on the iPhone, but you have to switch to the Data Pro plan, which disqualifies you from the unlimited. So as soon as you switch to the personal hotspot, that's it for unlimited. If you have been grandfathered into an unlimited plan, you're out at that point.
The best way to get people off unlimited is just offer free Wi-Fi if you switch to one of the cheaper plans away from unlimited. Suddenly, a lot of unlimited plans.
Over the years, these guys have been promoting the idea that the internet should be connected through them, the phone companies. Or especially the mobile phone companies, and they talk a big game about, this is the reason you don't want WiMAX, and this is the reason you don't want this, you don't want that, you want us. And then when they get some market share, they seem to cap everything. They don't want people really using it because their system, I think, is apparently not architected for heavy-duty use. It's just that they get bogged down. Now, you've had it happen. You go to one of these big conferences and you're on your phone and people are trying to get on the net. You can't do it. So these guys are full of crap.
Still in San Francisco, every single time there's an event, you can't use an iPhone at it. You just cannot. Either the signal just keeps dropping down to zero.
Well, that reminds me when Steve Jobs actually had to stop the event. It was a showstopper. He said, look, I can't do this presentation because you guys, because I guess he was using Wi-Fi or bandwidth. I don't know what he was doing. I can't remember. But whatever the case was, everyone had to turn their phones off so he could work. It was just a mess.
But it was baffling. I mean, they should have had a dedicated connection specifically for him.
But what's outrageous, too, is how much these phone companies are getting for data. I mean, if you go over the 2 GB limit, they're charging you and I think Verizon's charging you $20 per gigabyte. I mean, is that outrageous?
Insane.
I mean, you can go through a gigabyte just by, listening to an hour of streaming music or something, or watching a low-resolution movie. I mean,
it's gouging.
$10 a gigabyte.
It's gouging.
Yeah.
It's all it is.
I mean, you mentioned what the profit is on that? $9.99.
Yeah, 99 cents. Now you can still tether with the. What happens if you had the tethering software that you got it before they killed it?
It still works, but the problem with this one is that it phones home. So every single time you load the application, it hits their servers to authenticate itself, I guess against piracy or whatnot. But the problem with that, this is why I didn't buy it, was because I heard a lot of people complaining that it was just not working because it has to authenticate against their servers. But now the app has been pulled, they're not going to continue maintaining those servers forever. So basically everybody who bought it in a few months, service is going to be gone. It's not going to work anymore.
Sure. Apple will kill it too, or the carriers will kill it. I mean, they have ways of killing apps, don't they?
Well, they can kill it by taking a look at when it authenticates.
Well, to date, Apple has not killed any applications, but AT&T can very well say, you know what, we're going to block this company's website.
Yeah.
Well, you can tether with an Android.
Yeah. You can. And it just shows you like the incredible interest for tethering. I mean, this thing was swamped the site.
You know, I was at the CeBIT show. It was close to 20 years ago, and when the GSM phones were first coming out and floating around Europe, and everybody, when this is the early days of the internet, so I guess this was probably in the late 90s. So. Everybody there would, especially the British, I was working at PC Magazine and I was also working for PC Mag UK, the British guys would all be tethering because I couldn't they didn't have the Wi-Fi, all the stuff wasn't available, and so when you had your laptop, you had to go back to the hotel and or find the press room to plug in. But these guys would they put their phone down and they plug in, and it was a crappy low 9600 baud or whatever, but it was slow, but they could get their email and they could do some work. And that was like, wow, and they were bragging about it. This is great. This is the future. Everything's going to be like this, but it's not like that. It's just the opposite.
You know what's funny too? I was when I read this article, I wanted to check out some of the alternatives. Like Verizon has MiFi, and you'd think that MiFi with 4G would be very fast. So I happened to be reading the user reviews, and half the user reviews say this thing is a joke. It doesn't work. It's slow. It disconnects. So you'd think we do need something. I mean, to connect other devices and.
Yeah, well,
what are you going to
obviously these phone companies aren't going to help us on any of this.
Well, no, they will as soon as they can gouge us ridiculously.
Well, yeah, they'll always help if they can gouge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do for a living. You've been watching X3.